The suspense got a little bit higher this episode, as well as the pumping and the music and the special effects. You can say what you want about the Fire Force anime. Not really, but even though the story may sometimes not look like the best, the effects of the fire and things like that is actually very, very nice. Even if the fights are not 100%, this situation is really, really nice. Yes, this is the Fire Force, and this is me, the Angry Anime Fan, 13. Last episode we saw a flashback, and this flashback actually ends pretty quickly. Not really completely satisfying, but it does reveal how Konro really did get his for tuberculosis. Turns out in the end he did destroy the demon, but he overused his flame powers even when his flame powers were over there. And that is why Benimaru blames himself. I mean, Konro knocked Benimaru out, but Benimaru believed that they could have taken that thing together. But Konro refused because he sees something in Benimaru that Benimaru does not see himself, and that is people are drawn to him. Even though Benimaru is very, well, rude to everyone, it does seem to imply that the people of Akasuka really are drawn to him. Maybe because in the end it's not just about strength, he has a charismatic thing. So Konro sacrificed his existence to destroy the demon. In the end, another brigade came. I think was the 3rd brigade, maybe. We introduced to Soichiro Hagi, an old man with 3 scars and a familiar voice. I think that's a familiar voice from those who watch One Piece. And he offered them to become Imperial Brigade. Of course, Benimaru didn't want that, but Konro said they should because they can get some, supplies from the Empire, and they can use the Empire if the Empire wants to use them. It's a win-win situation. Hearing this story, as well as how much Konro was willing to sacrifice himself for Benimaru, Shinra says that if you ever want to sacrifice yourself again, call me, because I want to help you. Here it really shows Shinra's dedication and his character. It's very heartwarming to also see the rest of the brigade smile hearing his resolve. Shinra is a guy who do not believe that you should throw away your life so easily. After all, he had lost everything during the fire when he was young. He believes if you want to save someone, you have to fight for it and help everything else. Elsewhere in town of Akasuka, Benimaru suddenly realizes that everybody starts to blame each other. And we actually get a shot on how that happened. Because it turns out, as we all know, that it wasn't the 8th Brigade who said those things that Benimaru overheard. And things get worse when Hikage and Hina thinks there, but it turns out that one of them is actually not the other twin. Is actually an old man in disguise. However, here comes the comedy part. The only one who saw through that perfect disguise was Arthur. You know, I think that is creating a joke that may not land immediately, and even if it lands, it may not be that funny. But I think it's based on the joke that Arthur is too dumb to be fooled. Because even when he, hurt that person, and the mask, morphing mask came off, revealing an old man and not a young girl, he actually knew that it was. Even though the voice was even a perfect match as well, he saw through that perfect disguise. And I think that is a perfect example, or not a perfect example, but I think that is a comedic example of too dumb to be fooled. Because it turns out, yes, it is the White Hoods. One, a man with an artist-like ability, or so to speak, using the flames in his power to stimulate the heat in the faces and actually morphing them. His voice sounds also familiar. We're also introduced to the same person that fired the arrow that destroyed Rika. It is indeed a woman, although for some reason her chest seems to be very hidden. But she talks in a very bad acting, like monotone, as well as another guy who is very big, Buffy. As they fire the arrow later on with the 8th Brigade, Maki manages to temporarily stun it there. It's a very nice scene here, including the fact that Tamaki can put them to rest, but the Infernals who spreads all over the place, because she has sister training, but also this is not the place for them to do that. Shinra flies away in hopes of finding the arrow thing, while Arthur follows him. Once again also showing his dumb thing by saying, make sure you do not say left, right, make sure you point. As Shinra says, are you bragging about how dumb you are? Yeah, he really is dumb. And indeed, the White Hoods have a way to create artificial demon things. While Benimaru is off trying to destroy these artificial demons, the people of Akusai is such panic, especially of all these discussing that the 8th Brigade cannot even help evacuate them. They need Benimaru to lead them, but Benimaru believes that Konro is the only one who can. So they go to the highest tower, where Shinra and Arthur manages to find the White Hoods of Arrow, who the girl who fires Flaming Arrow is appropriately named Arrow, while another one is named another one. The artist guy doesn't seem to be a fighter, as later on they clash with the fight. These fights here has some nice effects. Maybe not the most stylish of fightings, but the effects here are really nice. As they all team up in hopes of doing that, suddenly the big guy swallows an artificial bug, saying that Akusai is a power spot, maybe can give birth to a demon. As we all know, Konro confronted a demon. What are these demons? Well, they seem to be way stronger fire people than, well, infernals than regular ones. Elsewhere, Benimaru puts another one to rest, prepares to fly off again, perhaps finding Konro, because he believes that Konro is the true leader of it all. There's a little bit of a conflict here that Konro can see that Benimaru is more of a leader than anyone else, but Benimaru refuses to see that himself because he believes that Konro is the one to do that. It really does show that although Benimaru is very jerk-assy, he truly believes in Konro, just as Konro believes in Benimaru, but it's more of the fact that he knows that Benimaru has more charisma than he himself. I mean, Konro believes that. But Benimaru refuses to see that because of his own, well, foolishness. So he may be jerk-assy, but he does have a charisma that everyone is drawn to. Only he can quiet this sadness and chaos. So yeah, special affecting episodes with some nice moments there. But again, the story may not really work immensely. I can see why some complain about it, but it was good in the manga at least. So and what's seeing here is not necessarily bad. Just give me your thoughts if you have any.